There is a legitimate report that 5 teams have called the 49ers to express interest in Jimmy Garoppolo. It's unknown how many of those teams would actually trade for Jimmy Garoppolo. The answer is probably none. We don't know. But friend of the show, Dan Cilio, said, yelling. I would think what he typed it into Twitter, but he probably yelled it while he typed it.
Yeah.
That the Falcons have offered a second and a fifth for Jimmy Garoppolo. Look, if they've offered that, I'm not sure that they have, but I'm guessing the stipulation is the Niners would have to pay 100% of Jimmy Garoppolo's salary to make anything like that work. What do you think of this? Can we call it a report?
Yeah, I think Dan Cilio also said that KD wants to come to the 49ers.
Kevin Durant?
Yeah.
That makes sense. But he does, though.
Yeah. If the 49ers, if the Falcons are really offering a second and a fifth, they should do it like
now.
Yesterday.
Yeah. The Falcons could wake up and realize what a stupid idea this is. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like, but I don't understand why a team like the Falcons would want to do. The Falcons should be in if you don't want to call it tank mode, they should be in rebuild mode. Like they should not be trying to. They shouldn't be trying to win right now.
Right. They should. If I were them, I'd much rather have the second in 2023 than 1 year of Jimmy Garoppolo in 2022.
Right, and the possibility that you might have a high first round pick this year, and then you could go get your quarterback, your real quarterback for the future in this upcoming draft.
Yeah,
as opposed to maybe you get Jimmy Garoppolo, and I mean. We've seen it in the past with the 49ers, right? If you get an extra win or two, that can propel you further down in the draft, and now you're out of position to really get one of those quarterbacks, or it costs you an arm and a leg to move up and get one.
Now, from the Falcons' perspective, if the Niners are going to pick up most of the money here, maybe Arthur Smith feels a little pressure to win a little bit because is it his second year there? Marcus Mariota, he's probably more talented than Jimmy. I mean, he was the second pick of the draft. He can move, but he might be even more injury prone than Jimmy. And once Marcus is hurt, now you're down to Desmond Ridder, who I don't know if they wanted him to play right away. He was a third round pick. So I could see them looking for another quarterback. I could. Still though, trading a second for a guy who's going to be on your team for 1 year, unless they extend Jimmy Garoppolo, in which case I'm thinking hello, what are you thinking? Why would you do that, right? I mean, I don't think any team's looking at Jimmy Garoppolo right now. He could be our guy for the next 3 to 5 years. I don't think so.
I don't think so. Yeah, if they extend, it'd be crazy if they extended him.
There's a lot of debate on where Jimmy Garoppolo ranks in the Niners quarterbacks all time, and some people want to say that he ranks ahead of Alex Smith. When Alex Smith left the 49ers, there was a market for him. I mean, a very good coach locked him up for 3-4 years and went to playoffs with him. No one wants Jimmy Garoppolo for the next 3 or 4 years. That should tell you all you need to know.
Didn't Alex Smith make a Pro Bowl? Did he make?
Yes, he played very well for the Chiefs. He played very well for that team, and that was back before they had Tyreek Hill. He played 1 season, I think, 2. One season with prime Tyreek Hill and had his best year ever. That was back when he had Dwayne Bowe and Jeremy Maclin.
The only reason why he's out of the league is he had one of the most horrific injuries ever in football.
He was winning with Washington. No one wins in Washington.
Right.
So anyway, I don't know why we're talking about Alex Smith. We should be talking about Dan Cilio and his silly report. Whenever he does a report on Twitter, he goes big sales, #big sales. I love that. Shout out big sales. Second and a fifth for Jimmy G. Look. I still think that the Niners are in the mindset of they're prepared to spend $27 million to keep Jimmy Garoppolo on the roster all year to get that third round comp pick. So if you're already willing to do that and a third round comp pick isn't worth $27 million, what would you pay to get? What would you pay to get a second round pick? If you offered to just I'll pay for Jimmy Garoppolo to play for your team this year. What will you give me? Second and a fifth? Is that somewhat or not even? It's I don't know, you could pay for him. We still don't want. We still would rather have a second round pick. Sorry.
Yeah, I'd rather have the second round pick. I mean, it's not I don't feel like what would the Falcons' real benefit for they get a couple more wins probably. with Jimmy. Like I think he's a starting quarterback. He's on the lower end of starting quarterbacks, but
seems like what he does is he repairs your reputation. If you need some credibility, some wins, if you need your win-loss record in the regular season to improve, maybe that's why Kyle stuck around with Jimmy so long. It's like he was done with Jimmy after 2020, and he got Trey Lance, but he's like, there's going to be a growing pain year with Trey Lance. Should I do it right now when I'm like 10 games under 500? Or should I just give Jimmy one more year to boost my win-loss record up a little bit and then go with the unknown? It seems like Jimmy can kind of give you some leeway if you're – what were the Niners before Jimmy got here? 1-10?
Yeah.
Those are the kind of teams I was like, oh, my God, we need some respectability. We are all laughing stocks. Jimmy will come in and make us respectable. What team is like desperate for respect? The Niners were desperate for respectability coming off Tom Sula, Chip Kelly, and the 1-10 start. A team that's desperate for respectability.
Giants, maybe. But again, that coach just got there. So he won't be desperate for respectability until he's 1-10 at the trade deadline. See? I don't know. The Giants.
Maybe Atlanta. But I still think it's a little early for them.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. But again, if the Niners hold on to Jimmy and this drags into week 3 or 4, then the Falcons' plan could totally blow up. Marcus Mariota could get hurt, and they'd be Desmond Ridder. And then the Niners are like, okay, do you want some respectability? Or do you guys want to be a joke all year? That could be their play. I still think that John Lynch is going to die hard with this trade and take it down to the very bitter end.
I was thinking about this. Maybe the whole thing why they paid Sudfeld, right? If you think about this, so Lance is a starter,
yeah,
which means he's probably not going to play that much in the preseason.
Probably not.
He
better not. He got hurt in the preseason last year.
And if Jimmy is the backup, he's not going to play. He's not going to play much because he's coming off injury, and they still want to keep the possibility to trade him. So you sign him.
We can't risk him getting hurt ever.
Right. So
yeah,
Sudfeld. It's going to be big-time Sudfeld time in preseason.
Also, Purdy. And you wonder why they drafted a quarterback. Those two are going to be getting some reps in preseason, man. It's true. Right. That's a good point. Sudfeld time. Apparently, he tears it up. His quarterback rating in the preseason is really good. I think that's why he's got his.
I thought it was so funny to think about this last year and about like, oh, I'm so excited for preseason and get to see Trey Lance. Nah, they trot him out there for like he plays for like 20 plays, and then Kyle's like, he doesn't even play playing time last week. Like,
all right, so Cilio, let's see if you're right. It makes sense, but again, if the only way the Niners are getting an offer like this is if they pay Jimmy Garoppolo to play for another team. And frankly, I wouldn't do it. I'd take the cap space. But since the cap space is out the window, the cap space is just to roll over for next year. They're not going to do that. If you wanted cap space, you should have created that 4 months ago. They're past that. They're looking for picks. They love picks. I don't know why they love picks so much, and they're willing to spend way more than picks are worth.
Well, let me ask you a question. If they did pull that off and they got a second and a fifth,
and paid for it, yeah,
would you I know if they traded Jimmy Garoppolo for like a 6, I think you're gonna blast them. You're like for holding on to that.
No, the way I look at it is like at least you got rid of him because
you got rid of him, but
yeah,
but you can't forget about the fact that they could have gotten rid of him before.
Oh, I can't forget about that either. If I'm right and they hold on to him into the season, that's insane. That's the biggest thing you can criticize. After that, it'd be like, hey, at least you came to your senses. You should have came to your senses 4 months ago, but at least you got there. I don't know what took so long.
Right. But so if they
thought there was a trade market for this guy, I could have told you there wasn't.
If they do pull off a second and a fifth, like, are you applauding them, or are you like you're not gonna blast? It's only a little bit. You're gonna blast them a little bit because in my mind,
I'll praise them for at least getting him off the team, but I'm not going to say that it's genius to spend $27 million on a second round pick. Like that's not, the next trend in the NFL. It's like, okay, you salvaged a situation that you could have done better with, but at least you didn't make it worse. At least you finally cut your losses and got something. So I'll give you credit for that while I hold my nose at the whole situation.
Now, if this is going to happen, but if somehow they end up get a first for him, would you applaud that?
Oh my God, I would have to.
For waiting.
It's like they would be totally vindicated. It's like their whole thing was like, there's going to be a sucker. There is a sucker in this league, and he's going to present itself, and it did. And my whole thing is this league is not that stupid. They know exactly what Jimmy Garoppolo.
I agree with that.
And Cilio said the Bucks were interested, and there was like a source the next day being like, no. If this dude could throw a deep ball, he'd have two. I mean, that's how fans and media make it seem like, hey, man, he's not perfect, but he's a really good player and a heck of a leader. Like the league is looking at him as like, back up. We're good. Thank you. So I'm just curious to see which narrative ends up being true. Anyway.
Yeah. I agree with all that. Like if they did end up getting a first, I think you'd have to vindicate them.
And you'd have to really, really roast whatever team did that. But that's not really my job. But I could make it my job.